2 years to the day after the Japanese attacked American military installations on Oahu, Admiral Chester Nimitz met with his principal subordinates and staffers at Pearl Harbor, where the decimated ruins of USS Arizona and USS Oklahoma still lay half-sunken in the shallow waters like haunted, muted monuments to the worst day in the history of the U.S. Navy. Nimitz might have been the only American who actually benefited from the infamous attack that initiated the Pacific War, though, of course, he would never have thought in such terms. The disaster at Pearl Harbor had led to the appointment of Nimitz as Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Fleet, replacing Admiral Husband Kimmel, who, fairly or not, took most of the blame and was quickly and shabbily retired away to queasy oblivion. Every bit as modest and self-effacing as MacArthur was egomaniacal, Nimitz had by the end of 1943 emerged as the leading naval officer of history's leading war. Every bit the peer of the general, and actually a bemused rival, in the same manner that a gentle-tempered German shepherd endures the nips of a frisky beagle, Nimitz controlled the sort of prodigious naval power that might have made Horatio Nelson salivate. After 2 hard years of war, the United States Pacific Fleet had grown into a powerful beast. Nimitz had at his disposal 20 aircraft carriers, including 6 major fleet carriers, 8 battleships, 19 cruisers, 78 destroyers, 40 submarines, among many hundreds of other vessels, and with plenty more warships on the way. From the West Coast to Alaska, New Zealand, and many points in between, his vast theater of responsibility comprised some 65 million square miles of ocean and islands. Because Army and Navy leaders could not hope to agree on a single commander for the American war against Japan, and since neither service was willing to subordinate itself to the other, they had, more by inertia than intent, agreed on an uneasy, divided command compromise. MacArthur was the lord in SWPA, Stilwell in Asia, and Nimitz everywhere else. In effect, this meant a 2-pronged Pacific advance to Japan, with MacArthur and Nimitz as competing and sometimes cooperating theater commanders. The 58-year-old admiral was a Texan who had originally intended to go to West Point before ending up at the Naval Academy, where he graduated 7th in the class of 1905. As a young officer, Nimitz had fought seasickness, leading, in his later words, to some chilling of enthusiasm for the sea. As a rookie skipper, he had once been court-martialed and reprimanded for running his ship aground, normally a mortal maritime sin, but one that did not end his career because of his sterling reputation as a sagacious military thinker and fair-minded leader. The decision quickly proved sound. Nimitz subsequently saved the life of a sailor who fell overboard, taught naval science at the University of California, became a foremost expert on navigation and propulsion, and accrued years of experience in submarines and surface ships alike. White-haired, blue-eyed, and fair-skinned, a devotee of daily walks, tennis, sunbathing, and pistol marksmanship, Nimitz's studious, patient nature somehow meshed well with the underlying urgency of a commander who demanded and expected results. Modest, open-minded, and low-key, he detested grandstanding and cared little for military glory. No concessions should be made towards glamorizing individuals or incidents that do not deserve it, he once wrote revealingly to E.B. Potter, his main biographer. Nimitz's sense of humor was so keen that he collected a mental inventory of amusing stories and delighted in recounting them to subordinates to ease tensions at difficult or stressful times. He kept himself in excellent physical condition. Exercise was almost a fetish with Nimitz, war correspondent Robert Sherrod once wrote. On any given day, an observer might find Nimitz holed up in his office, working round the clock, honing his considerable marksmanship skills, taking a long walk, going for a swim at one of Oahu's spectacular beaches, or standing shirtless with a group of sailors, pitching horseshoes. One of his frequent horseshoe partners, 5th Fleet Commander Vice Admiral Raymond Spruance, years later described him as a very great man. Regardless of how tough the situation might be, I never knew him to get worried or excited. This state of mind, plus his keen intelligence and sound judgment, made his subordinates feel that any task given them could be accomplished.